What's up, everybody? It is Chris with Dealcasters, and I'm here to tell you about my favorite new product that I bought, and it is the Loupedeck Plus. And so I've got that right in front of me right here, right now, and I'm going to show you really quickly how this works and why this has been one of the most effective and efficient tools for me as a video editor. This works with various pieces of software. I use it for Final Cut Pro X or Final Cut Pro 10, depending on how you want to term this. But it also works with Premiere. It works with Photoshop. It works with Audition. It works with all kinds of different software. Lightroom Classic, Premiere Pro, Capture One, Aurora HDR, After Effects. It just is a fantastic tool, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Basically, it integrates with that software, and not only does it have an initial setup for you to be able to use these tactile dials and button that you can integrate with your editing for that particular software, but you can program them yourself. And you can see right here I've got the Loupedeck software up, and that basically shows you how you can kind of go in and be able to program what you want for that particular control dial, or maybe you want something else to be here. Maybe you want this to, instead of when I hit this button, instead of it jumping to the next frame, I want it to jump down to the next menu. You can do that here. You just click on that, you find out where it is over here, and you click on it, and you can program. Not only that, but you can program all of those things, and each one of these dials pushes in. So it not only can you dial things left and right, but you can program the push, and as a bonus, there's a function key. So you can have the first level be the push and the back and forth, and then hit function again, and it's another level. So just, I started simple with this, and then eventually, as I started going through and I found out the things that I use editing for mostly, I started programming those as I went along, and it has cut hours and hours and hours out of my editing. So I'm going to show you here right now. I pulled in a video here. This is just a basic video that I was using for a product video with my dog to show you an example of how this works. So basically, you have Final Cut Pro, and any video editing software. You have your keyboard that you would use and your mouse that you would use, and it would take hours and hours and hours to kind of like, oh, I have to zoom in here, I have to hit Control or Command plus and be able to zoom in, and minus to zoom in, and how do I got to get on that exact thing, and then I have to figure out, okay, I want a blade here and I want to hit right, no, what's the keystroke, but eventually it's like all of those things with the keyboard, right? You don't have to do that anymore. Now you program that stuff into one button. And so, for instance, right here, I want to smash everything into one look. I just hit this button because I programmed that. And then I want to be able to dial into that and zoom in and zoom out. I'm using this dial right here to zoom in and zoom out. That alone right there is hours and hours and hours. Well, when I zoom in, for instance, and I want to get that, let me get that spot where his tongue is, sticking out just like that, right? And I want to cut at that exact moment. Well, if that was the case, you may have to hit a command, something like that, but I programmed it right here because when I hit blade, sometimes I want to move like one frame left or right, or 10 frames left or right. So I hit this, and this is going to blade. So now that's created a cut right here, and you can see where that cut hit. And now, if I were to zoom that out, you can see that cut, and then from there, in order to go blade, I just have to do this, and it goes frame by frame. That right there, if you're a video editor, is probably blowing your mind a little bit, and I'm just touching the surface on what that can do. Imagine now you're in Photoshop, and you're in there and you're adjusting LUTs, you're adjusting certain things, your tint, vibrant, saturation. All of these are already programmed in. Instead of trying to figure out what those hotkeys are, what those, going into menus, figuring out, oh, was that over here? Was that? No. You don't have to worry about it. You just program them in, and it's done. And these are built for that. I've got all over here. I've got all of my play functions. So if I hit here, it's going to hit play. But then I can do jog, so it goes along quickly. And then, oh, I want to go back, or I want to go forward just a little bit. I'm doing all of that with the touch of the button here. I'm not going up into this and clicking back and dragging it and doing all of those things. No, I'm just using these buttons to go into where I need to go, jog to the point I need to go to, finding the spot, drilling in to make sure that I know that it's where I want, clicking that to edit it, and then being able to deal with the content. And as you can tell, Dexter is smiling. He thinks that's awesome. He thinks the Loupedeck's awesome. I think the Loupedeck's awesome. I use it for video editing every single day. It saves me hours and hours and hours and hours of time. It'll save you that much time as well. I hope this helps you.